happening with you, baby? It's your boy DJ Tronn, and I got my player partner.
I am Joe.
Man, how you feeling today, man?
Man, I feel like a king, bro. How you feeling?
Come on now, bro. I like that ass, man. I'm blessed, man. I can't complain now. Just been trying to enjoy the day and I keep going, little work day, but it ain't bad. It ain't bad at all, man. It ain't bad at all, man. But let's get right into it, man. It's for the people that don't know who you are, man. Who is Jeau?
All right. So I call myself I am Jojo. My name is Joseph, but been going through this little transition of reinventing myself, growth mentally, physically, just changing all the way around. So it's like this, new self, new identity type.
Come on now. And if people want to get in contact with you, man, what's your social?
All right. So my socials is I am Jeau.
Okay.
But if you're looking for me on a professional tip, you can find me at Luxe Media Online. That's LuxMediaOnline.
Come on now. All right, man. For the people that don't know what you do and what Luxe Media is, what is that?
And Luxe Media is one of the hottest media companies here around the Arkansas area.
Come on now.
In photography, I'm undeniable. Like, top two, not two.
Come on, bud. Talk to us. Yeah,
big Zozo.
Okay. Man, how did you come up with your name, bro? Like, how did
Luxe Media? The name came about because I actually came into photography through different industries. I've been successful in multiple industries, and photography was a need in every business I had. I was like, man, I need pictures for this. Then my other business, I need pictures for this. And at the time, there was just a gap in the market. And the gap was photographers that were able to create commercial content with a true understanding for how businesses work and what type of images actually helped us get a return on our investment. So I came into photography from a business perspective, like, hey, I understand what businesses genuinely need, how to put together campaigns, how to do stuff like that. And luckily, I had an artistic eye. So I ended up actually becoming a really, really good photographer. I never intended on doing it for making money. It was for myself. But to learn, you got to have people to shoot and practice. And it was kind of one of those things where when I shot people just for practice, other people was like, hey, can I pay you to do that? And I'm like, I ain't turning no money down. So
come on now.
He kind of evolved into his own business and took his own life.
Okay, so if you don't mind, what was you doing before Lux? Or was your mind already like still with the media thing?
Man, honestly, no. I actually had one of the hottest top hair extensions companies around here. Like, a lot of people knew my hair extension company. I owned a company called the Virgin Hair Market. I was actually one of the original pioneers of hair extensions in this city. I was probably the first person who actually had hair extensions in a retail setting, a retail store. Prior to that, you can buy them offline and all that. But I was the person who said, hey, you know what? We're going to open up shop. We're going to put it right here where people can walk in and get it. So I was, I made a lot of money doing that. So I was a 6-7 figure entrepreneur in different industries long before I actually got into media. And that experience is why I'm, really different when it comes to photography, because when people hire me, they don't just hire somebody who's great behind the camera. They hire somebody who has a true understanding for how to build and develop a business.
So it's just pretty much a whole package thing. When they come to you, they get understanding, service, and the greatest product they can ever have.
Exactly, because I said it when I said down, top two, not two. It has nothing to do with who's the best artist. I can show you how to get money. Who can do that?
Hey, I can't.
I can show you how to get paid with what you do. So what? Like, this separates me from the pack.
What was your first venture that started like that got your business mind like, okay, I can do this?
Well, entrepreneurship.
Yeah.
Actually, the first thing I did, the very first business I did, was at 15 years old. I started a recording studio, and it started off as my senior project for high school, and we had to work on it. So I had to fundraise, get an LLC, do all that type of stuff to actually raise money to get the equipment and bring people in. And I started recording people's albums and producing my own music and doing stuff like that. So I started that at 15 years old. Studio time and different stuff like that. So I started at a very young age, really having a true understanding that I could be successful at business. I mean, I got put out of school in the second grade for selling blow pops. I was shut down in the
second grade. Yeah. So you doing too much, man. Yeah.
Like, I always had the hustle. I always had an entrepreneur spirit, but it really started to cultivate and become real to me around 15 years old. Like, hey, you don't have to be in somebody else's formula to have success. You can write your own.
Mm.
You know?
Mm. What was that? What was that business? You said with Virgin. You said Virgin.
Virgin Hair Market.
Virgin Hair Market. So that was the first time you getting like a storefront business, and
Yeah,
you
that
know
was
what I
the
mean,
first time I went for retail, and that was the first time I did 6 figures in business.
Ooh.
In 1 year.
Yeah.
But I made, millions of dollars doing that over the span of, 10, 15 years.
Ooh. So I mean, that's the time. So how did you? I understand you said you saw the need for basically a photographer and everything, but why didn't you call it Virgin Media? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Why did you expand off that? Why did you say Luxe? What made you want to say Luxe?
Everything I do with business is very strategic. When I started Virgin Hair Market, what I wanted to do while I was naming it was I wanted to make it very self-explanatory. So it's Virgin Hair, basically a market for virgin hair. Boom, super explanatory. When I went through the rebrand with that company, it was VHM Extensions because the terminology in the industry changed from virgin hair to hair extensions. So we rebranded with VHM, which they already knew, and used extensions to, update the lingo. So when it came to photography, I always believed in kind of creating a luxury experience, right? So I took luxury, like, what can I use for that? So I went with Luxe.
Okay.
And then media just allows me to do other things as being a photographer, so I can really expand into other industries and contract out different work.
Okay. Okay. And you still selling hair? You still do this?
No, I decided to retire from selling hair.
Okay.
I had my fun with it. I made a lot of money in it. But I'm in a season of my life where if I can't be fully committed to something, then I'd rather step out the way and let the people who love it with all of them, you know what I mean, have it. So,
man, if you don't mind me, when do you know when it's time to fold them sometimes, you know what I'm saying, and go to your next venture, and then how do you get the understanding to rebrand yourself, like building a Luxe media, you know what I mean?
I look at it like this. One of the first ways you know if it's time to quit is when you struggle with being fully committed. Anything that you can't fully commit yourself to, you don't love enough to truly do. Life is too short to be doing things that you don't genuinely love. So that's on a personal level. On a business level, you have to really just be honest with yourself and look at the trends of your business and your industry. Like recently, Kevin Hart closed down all of his vegan restaurants. And everybody's like, man, I know he got the money, he could pay these people, this, that, and figure it out. But the truth is, when you start a business, yes, it's your baby. But just like your child, they're gonna grow to a point where you're gonna have to either, you gotta let them grow.
Come on, man.
Or you gotta let them go.
Yeah.
And business is the same way. And I think sometimes we have this emotional connection to business that's a little bit unhealthy, and we tend to string ourselves along with things that are actually weighing us down when it's showing us that it's not working. So your question about the rebranding is, I believe before you quit, you should try to pivot. So sometimes you're doing the right thing the wrong way.
Okay.
All right. So, you got the right idea, you're in the right arena, you got the right product, but your form of execution isn't working. So that's when you start trying to close the information gap. What information do I need? What class can I take? How are people that are having success? What are they doing? How are they going about this? And once you see that, then you can make those small changes and pivots in your business. And sometimes that's enough.
Sure.
So sometimes it's just like, hey, you really ain't been doing it long enough. And sometimes it's you're just not doing it right. And you got to be, you got to know if you're capable or not.
True.
And it's okay to walk away. Like, I feel like in life we tend to make things our identity. Like people ask me all the time, why did you quit selling hair? Why did you quit selling hair? Because they knew me for that. But what they had to understand is entrepreneurship is my identity, not hair extensions.
Okay.
So I'm gonna find success in whatever I choose to put my hands on because that's what I do for a living. I win. You know what I mean?
Come on now.
So if you win for a living, it don't matter what you plan. And you get so caught up and say, oh, I know such and such, that's such and such that do that, or that's such and such that do that, and we become afraid to evolve into the version of us that suits our life for now. So I had to come, it's time to change into the version of me that could serve me for now. That's who I was. The man I became was not a man that, wanted to continue to be in that industry. And I got the experience. I can give you all the game in the world. And I actually may put out a mentorship program for that.
Come on, man.
Because there are a lot of people that really could use that information and could learn from my success. And that's another avenue for me to be successful as well. But as me personally being in the industry, it's not something I'm passionate about anymore. And I just feel like sometimes we just take up space in areas that we could let other people thrive in, you know, and be more of a support system instead of always trying to be the star player, you know.
Come on now. Okay, we're gonna dive into that a little bit more in a minute. Now, with your service, bro, as Luxe Media, like there's a lot of people out here that only say a few companies out here that take pictures and do their thing and whatnot. But what you bringing is something different. Can you dive in just a little bit more deeper about what that you bring, your service that you bring to somebody's business or somebody's fashion show or anything like that? What does Luxe Media really bring to the whole thing?
I specialize in working with businesses. Okay. Now, I do regular birthday shoots, different stuff like that. You know, some of that stuff does help pay the bills. But my number one niche is small business owners, people who are starting from a place of confusion. What I do is I help, number one, bring them clarity. What are you trying to say to your client? Because if you don't know what you're trying to say, I can take all the pretty pictures in the world. And the problem with a lot of companies is what they do is they bring a photographer in before they're clear on their messaging. So what happens is the photographer takes a beautiful image, right? And then now they have to build a message around that image. Me, I work reverse. No, who are you talking to? Okay, so now that I know who you're talking to, what are you trying to tell them? Okay, so now that I know who you're talking to and what you're trying to say, now I can help you say that, and then I can create an image that aligns with what you are trying to say. Now we're talking directly to your audience versus you trying to build around my art, my thought process. You know, so I help bring clarity to how you think, and then I'm able to create an image that communicates that message to your audience.
Come on now.
And you don't get that without 20 plus years in business experience.
Right. Come on.
That's not something you get from just pressing the button on the camera.
Right.
That's not something you can pay for.
Something you have to learn, study.
You got to earn that one.
Trial and tribulations. Trial and error. You know what I mean?
Trial and error. A lot of time in business.
Man. Let's lighten the mood a little bit. You know what I mean? Before we get back into the deep stuff, man. I do a segment called This or That.
Okay.
Cool. You down with that?
That's working.
All right, man. We're going to start off easy with it, right? All right. Breakfast or dinner?
Dinner.
Why?
I believe in fasting in the morning as much as possible. Okay. So I like to be fasted. I like to keep a clear stomach and a clear mind. You know, so I prefer to have dinner.
Okay. All right. You watch your movie fan?
I like movies.
Okay. Marvel or DC?
Oh, come on, you can't be for real.
Hey.
Come on, man. Like, it's Marvel all day, bro.
Okay.
Like, it's not even close.
I mean, hey. You got. I respect both sides. I just
DC cool, but I mean, if you picking Marvel over DC, I just don't know what kind of person you are.
The movies just hit.
It's
hit different. You know what I mean? Come on.
Yeah,
I mean, we ain't gonna get into that.
Marvel know who they talking to.
Right. You right.
Exactly.
They know they market.
And DC know who they talking to, and it ain't me.
All right. Super villain or superhero?
Oh man, I'm a big villain, baby.
Big villain,
baby.
Why villain though, man?
One thing I learned about life is when you good or you great at anything, people are gonna hate you anyway. So once you can embrace the feelings that they have for you anyway, you have a lot more power and control over yourself by saying, hey, if you're gonna hate me, then I might as well be unapologetically great.
Come on, man.
See, when you the hero, the truth is they're gonna hate you too.
True.
But they hate you because you're trying to help them. You're sacrificing all of you and you're giving up so much of you, and it really is not being appreciated. When you're a villain, you are able to operate in a place of true purpose, whether everybody else understands it or not. Sometimes the villain is just the person who figured it out before the rest of the world.
I mean, with the Joker, the Hulk. Come on, hey, we gonna get it. Okay,
for sure. So I'm a big villain guy.
Okay,
big villain guy.
All right.
I mean, think about it. You in there minding your business, Batman kicking your door. Man,
What you?
you
I
over
mean,
here
come
for?
on. Yeah,
You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So
I got something for him. Yeah.
Nah,
Early bird or night owl?
I'm an early bird, man.
Ooh.
You can wake me up anytime after 4 a.m. It's like the middle of the day for me. I'm good.
Real talk?
But once it get dark, I'm ready to go to sleep. Once it get dark, I'm ready to go to sleep.
Better, yeah, you better than me, bro.
Yeah,
I'm going.
You a DJ, man.
Yeah, I'm a night owl. Yeah, I'm gonna be out these streets. You know what I mean? Nah,
Yeah.
but the streets or stay at home on weekends.
Man, truthfully, I'm a homebody that has learned to be social when necessary. So if it's necessary or beneficial, I'm outside, baby. You feel me?
Come on now.
But if I got a choice, man, rubbing them feet together,
Yeah.
watching the movie, I'm cooler.
Not to rub the feet together.
I'm gonna rub them together
Yeah.
because I'm going right to sleep.
Oh, you got the house on cold too on it.
What?
Come on, that fan on too.
Man, ceiling fan on, AC on, rubbing feet together.
Come on now.
On the bed.
All right, last one.
All right.
Both of your business, you got Virgin Hair Market.
Yeah.
And then you got Luxe Media. Both equal the same when it comes down to finances and everything. Which one are you taking?
It will be Luxe Media all day because Luxe Media was one thing that I loved so much that I was willing to do it for free.
Okay. That's heck.
You could never, ever ask me to sell hair for free. You can't ask me to talk about hair for free because I'm not passionate about it like that. When it comes to media, it's something I always love to do. I was the kid that my mom used to always buy me the cameras and I'd go get them developed. I still got thousands of pictures that I took. And this was long before I even realized, like when I got into media, I didn't realize that I had that history. Like that was a part of my history. But I never put two and two together till years after taking pictures. Like, man, you know what? I've always taken pictures. So it was never something I intended on making money from. It was something that I always enjoyed doing from a kid.
Just a passion.
And I happen to be damn good at it.
Come on now. So why not make some money out of it?
So why not make some money out of it, you know?
And now that we rolled into that, man, what's the most difficult thing about being a photographer?
I think the most difficult thing about being a photographer is that once you're so skilled, you make it look so easy that people tend to undervalue what you truly do. Like, just because I'm good enough to walk into the room and get the shot in 10 seconds, don't mean that shot ain't worth 10 grand. Because you could have shot for the next 10 years and still wouldn't have got that one shot.
The one you need that money to make you look good.
So it's different. And sometimes we tend to devalue artists simply because you can't truly price art. You know, so
come on now, boy. You come on. It's like you're speaking poetry right now, boy. Come on now. I feel what you're saying. What's be something that you'll tell your younger self?
Man, truthfully, it's on my shirt right now, man. Nothing overnight. If I could go back and talk to my younger self, I would tell myself nothing overnight because there were some things along the way that I got discouraged about. And if I could have just had this message on my mind, a lot of times when I look down, I could have continued to look up. Nothing overnight. Everything is a process. And just fall in love with the process and just keep going, you know.
I'm listening, boy, because you got me inspired a little bit right there. I like that shirt too, man. I mean, now when you saying you nothing's overnight, right? You're saying like in some kind of ways you had like sacrifice that you had to kind of go through. You see what I'm saying? To be here or be there and somewhere. Do you have family?
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what I mean that you got to do, especially as an entrepreneur. Can you talk about some of the sacrifices that you kind of?
You got to make a lot of sacrifices because the truth is greatness does not allow you to be balanced. You're going to have to decide, do you want to be great or you want to be balanced? There's a time for balance, and the time for balance is not day one of starting a business. That's when it's time to be imbalanced. Like, when it's time to stay up all night. Bro, listen, I just told you I'm an early bird, right?
Okay, yeah.
I didn't make hundreds of $1,000s, you know what I'm saying, yearly selling hair. Being an early bird, I had to be a night owl because my communication schedule with the people I was doing business with was, you know, 3 to 6 in the morning. So I'm up, you know, sleep for a couple of hours and I'm up the rest of the night making sure that things are right so I can get up the next day and do business. So it's kind of one of those things that when people talk about sacrifices, what they don't want to do is they're trying to say, what do I have to give up to get what I want? But the real question is, what are you willing to give up to get what you say you want? And there's only one answer. It has to be everything. And if you're not willing to give up everything, then are you sure that what you quote unquote want is worth it? You got to be willing to give it all up if you want it all. You can't straddle the fence.
What?
You ain't straddling the fence of being number one.
Y'all gonna come up in the blast.
Now you're not gonna be nowhere close to the top. You have to be obsessed with everything you do if you want to be at the top of it. And as I say, we looking for trying to find comfort in it, but the truth is, man, you got to be willing to sacrifice everything because you may say, hey, this is what I want, but it's all on the line. What are you willing to trade for? So you have to make sure that the trade-off is equal.
True.
You know?
Yeah. You right. Now, with being having sacrifices, and like I said, you have to willing to put it up all on the line. It put a lot on your mental.
Oh, yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Sure. So, like, what is your perspective on mental health now, growing up, versus now? You know what I mean? Like back then, when you was trying to be an entrepreneur, you know, mental health wasn't necessarily a big thing. You know,
it wasn't a big conversation.
Right.
You know, and I think this, man. I'm 36, so got to realize I'm at an age where depression and all that stuff wasn't such a common term that it was talked about all the time. Also, I'm from an era where we actually played outside and we actually got sunlight and we actually did things different. I'm from an era where we grew up on the internet, but not on the internet. You know, we grew up with the internet. It was evolving, but we didn't grow up on the internet. So I feel like the mental health challenges from when I started as entrepreneurship to now is completely different. I also, you know, but how I personally manage my mental health, man, is getting outside in nature, taking long walks, stuff like that, unplugging. Like sometimes you just gotta disconnect from the app. You know, sometimes you gotta put the phone down. Like anybody that know me know that my phone is on Do Not Disturb 24/7. I'm gonna get back to you when it's convenient for me to get back to you. You know, not at the sacrifice of my own mental health.
That's right.
You know, and then I try to eat as clean as possible. I haven't ate meat in, you know, virtually 6-7 years. So it's the small things like that that allow me to, you know, I'm a naturally optimistic person, but you have to work along, you know, with it in this day and age because we got so many things working against us and drawing on us. Sure. We got to really, really, really be willing to take the extra steps to be able to do it. Like fitness is a major part of it. You know, I'm gonna lift weights and different stuff like that when I'm stressed out, so that I can really, you know, push myself to a level that, you know what I mean, to be able to mentally be able to deal with stuff like challenging yourself. You know, so creating challenges for yourself so that you can calibrate your mind and be prepared when the next thing comes, because the next thing is always coming.
True. You know? The time don't stop, the wave don't stop.
What they say, either you coming out of storm, headed to a storm, or in a storm. True. That's the reality of life. True. So that means we need to always be preparing for a storm. Right. You know, so
stay ready. You gotta be. Stay ready. You gotta get ready. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Well, let's lighten the mood a little bit, man. Let's do a little. I call this is trivia right here. You see what I'm saying? Right. Which is in direction to black people. In which direction do black people say you swear? Right? A, side to side. B, east to west. C, left to right. D, up and down.
So you swear.
What's
Oh no, man. I'm gonna say up and down. I'm probably wrong. What they swear?
It's up and down.
I swear to God.
I swear up and down.
We're gonna do it every time.
Okay. Prior to heading to the family function, which is the main question Black people ask?
Who all gonna be there?
Yeah, come on now.
Because if you say the wrong name, I'm gonna tell you who ain't gonna be there. I'm good. Y'all let me know how it goes.
Really?
If y'all finish up.
Hey, quick is somebody with that.
Yeah.
Quickness. On Kirk Franklin's Melodies from Heaven, right? What was the Sopranos part? A, rain down on me. B, rain. C, let them fall on me. D, none of the above.
Fair, I look. Oh, A.
A,
Yes.
rain down on you. Correct. All right. What is the number one rule going into a store with your black mama?
Don't touch nothing.
Don't touch your damn. If you ain't got no money, don't touch
nothing.
Don't touch nothing. We gonna tell you now. We ain't got
nothing.
nothing.
Before you go in this store, touch nothing.
If I see you touching something, I'ma pop it. Oh man! All right. Into my little trivia session real quick, man. We just had to lighten the mood up for real quick.
Sure.
What have you done most over this last year? Let me say. I'm sorry. What have you changed? Well, what have you changed the most over the last year?
The biggest change that I made, are we talking about personally or professionally?
You can say both if you want to.
I think it kind of goes hand in hand, though. The biggest change I made over this last year is a commitment to putting myself first. I've been an extremely selfless person, and I don't regret it at all. But I realized for where I ultimately aspire to be, that I had to start putting me first and putting my goals first. I can't pour from an empty cup. And for me to genuinely love the people that I love and provide for them the way that I desire to provide for them, then that means I may have to tell them to wait so that I can get where I need to be and how I need to be, so that I can do that at a high level. You know, you can't build a house if you're giving all the bricks away.
True.
You know, so
true.
That's been a big major transition for me. You know, so being able to put myself first, and it's been great. It's definitely been great because now I can be a better father. Now I can be a better entrepreneur. Now I can be a better friend. Now I can be a better son. Now I can be a better coach. I can be all of that because I'm actually spending the time to take care of me, the person. You know.
Come on now. All right. What's your biggest inspiration?
My biggest inspiration. That's a very interesting question, man. Right now, I'm gonna have to say Coach Rob. You know, bless his soul. That was my boy. You know, he passed away last year. Middle of last year. It's been about a year now. And that was somebody who, when I was going through a very difficult time, you know, he told me these three little words. He's like, just keep going. He told me, he said, Joseph, if you take a break, you're gonna quit. Just keep going. And those words changed the trajectory of my entire life. Because at that point I was coaching boxing. I was, working with some fighters, and they were getting better, and we were having a little bit of success. We had a little small situation with a little gym and stuff like that, and I was just frustrated because, like I told you, I've always been a selfish person. So when I pour into something, I pour all of me into it. And to be in a situation where I felt like my sacrifice wasn't valued or appreciated, felt like I got shut out. It cut deep. Because I had been putting everything and everybody before me. I was making sacrifices that I wouldn't even speak on. Still to this day won't speak on, because if I do it, I'm gonna stand on it. I ain't do it for you to, you know, pat me on the back. I did that because, hey, this is who I am. And if I'm with you, I'm with you. I'm all in, you know. And when everybody kind of abandoned me in that type of situation, he was the one person who was like, I'm with you. You know, just keep going. And he gave me the motivation and the confidence to start my own gym, start my own boxing program. And man, we, within the span of the last 4 years, going on 5 years, we have been a highly competitive, super duper boxing program here in the state, you know, and that was a beautiful thing. And it was just by him telling me just to keep going. That transformed my relationship with my kids. That changed the trajectory of their personalities, their confidence, all of that. Because up until that point, I've always had my kids that stayed with me, but I never taught them that sport.
Okay.
You know your kids.
Yeah.
I know y'all got some attitudes. So I did, you know, I was like, y'all ain't ready. So I never taught them. But having to start a program from scratch, I started it with them. And we spent, all three of my boys, man, we spent the last 3 or 4 years traveling, competing, doing all stuff. And that created a bond that's just been unbreakable, but that's also been able for me to see them evolve into young men, way better men than they would have been without the sport. So even with me being an active dad and being there, by him saying those few words and supporting me like that, man, it gave me some things that I could never repay. So, you know, through his life and his death, I'm inspired, you know. And he always had this motto called spank that ass. That's what he told the boys, say, whatever you do, you spank that ass.
Right.
And we live by that. You know, whatever you do in this life, man, you spank that ass. You go all in, you don't pull up, you don't hold back, give it everything you got.
Come on now. I like that. I like that. Come on now.
Rest in peace to my boy.
All right. Shout out to him. You said Mr. Rob, right?
Yeah, Coach Rob.
I mean, R.I.P. to him, man. Yeah. What do you see yourself in 5 years?
In 5 years, when it comes to media, I plan on having one of the most dominant media companies, like I said, in the Arklatex. I want to be the biggest with small business. I want to have a small business incubator where I actually show them through sales, through every aspect of how to really make money, and then infuse media into that. In 5 years, I plan to be watching my twins fighting in the Olympics.
Come on now.
You know, so I plan to be watching them fight in the Olympics in 5 years. And, you know, I don't think I'm ever going to retire. So, so I won't be retired in 5 years, man. But I think this smile is just going to be bigger and brighter. Come on, you know. As I grow, I just learn more and more what's important, you know, and learn to tend to place more value on that. You know, I'm genuinely happy, man.
I'm liking this, man. All right, man. Look into the camera, man. Tell somebody some inspiration words that's like that's trying to get to where you're going, or that is trying to be an entrepreneur, or that you just want to tell yourself to inspire yourself some more. Man, tell them some inspiring words, man.
And I'm gonna keep it real simple for y'all. It's something that I tell my fighters all the time, and we say in the gym, is sometimes you the bug, sometimes you the windshield. When you own that mythology, you'll understand that, hey, sometimes you smacking and demolishing this world and business, and sometimes it's smacking and demolishing you. But it's all part of the game. Don't get too high, don't get too low. Just put one foot in front of the other. And in the words of my boy Coach Rob, just keep going.
Come on now. Hey, man. How can the people get in contact with you, man?
Like I said, if you're looking for me, you can find me on Instagram. I am Jojo. Or you can find me on Facebook at Jojo. That's Jeau, Jeau. And if you're interested in doing business with me, look for me on Instagram at Luxe Media Online. I'm over to doing business with you and helping your business get to the next level. Got any questions, feel free to reach out. I'd love to help.
Type shit, man. I appreciate you coming through and pulling up on me, man. I ain't gonna take too much of your time, man. But you came and had to come bless my show, man. I really appreciate you coming. Talking to you on the couch, man. This your first time. Don't let it be your last time.
It'll be the last time, man. We're gonna bring the Southern Assassins box.
Come on, man. Bring them up. I talk to them. Man, I appreciate you coming.
Hey, look, I say, you see what that shirt say? Nothing overnight, man.
Come on,
That's that boy, my boy Sud's dream big, a little small, man.
Man,
and we rocking it 1,000%.
Tell him I want to get him on the couch too, man.
Yeah, I got you, bro.
Talk
We
to him,
got,
homie.
it's
You heard
official,
me?
man. I'm
No?
gonna make that call when we get out.
That's a bit. That's a bit, man. Hey, this is cool in the dojo. I got my player partner again.
Dojo.
Come on, man. We appreciate you coming through. We out this thing, man. Cool in the dojo with DJ Tronn.